Welcome. In this video, I'm going to be discussing problem solving with interest. Now, this is the same as that normal problem solving. I'm going to be illustrating the concepts of problem solving. Now, because we are dealing with interest, we need to first remember the formulae for interest. Number one, if we are dealing with simple interest, we calculate interest using the formula principal times rate times time. Now, if you're required to calculate the interest and your time is in months, you need to make sure that the rate is also in months. But if you are dealing with years, your time is in years, you need to make sure that your rate is per annum and your time is in years. Secondly, if you are dealing with compound interest, we calculate amount. We don't calculate interest first. We calculate amount using the formula that amount is principal into 1 plus your rate to power time. Then you can calculate the interest from the formula of amount equals to principal plus interest. Then your interest would be amount minus the principal. Now, when we are dealing with problem solving, you need to recall your formulae, but then you need to also follow some steps. I'm going to illustrate using this example. Mr. Singh borrowed a sum of money from the bank at an interest rate of 10% per annum compounded annually. He had to repay an amount of $10,648 after 3 years. And our part A of the question is find the sum of money that Mr. Singh borrowed. So in this case, we are dealing with compound interest. That's first and foremost. Then we are required to find the sum of money that Mr. Singh borrowed. From our formula, let me first write down the formula so that we can identify what we have and what is required. Amount is principal into 1 plus rate to power t. From our question, we have borrowed a sum of money. It's the one we are required to find, so we are required to find the principal at an interest rate of 10% per annum. So we have our R as 10%, which is 10 divided by 100. I can write this straight away as 0.1. He had to repay back an amount of 10,648. This means that our amount is $10,648, and we are required to find principal. So we have that, we have that, we have that. So all we need to do is substitute in our formula, rearrange it, and calculate the required value for the principal. So my amount, 10,648, equals to my principal into 1 plus 0.1 to power 3. This means that my principal is going to be 10,648. 1 plus 0.1 to power 3, when calculated, is 1.331. So if I work that out on my calculator, I get an amount of $8,000. Part B of the question reads, the sum borrowed was for his business, which gains 15% per annum at simple interest. How many years will he take to earn back the interest paid? Now, first and foremost, from our previous calculation, they want us to get the interest paid and determine how many years it will take for his business, which gains at a rate of 15% per annum, to earn back that interest. So we are dealing with simple interest in this case. So we know that the formula for simple interest is P times R times T. The sum borrowed was for his business, meaning that what he borrowed was the principal. So our principal is $8,000 as calculated from part A. Our rate is 15%. That's 15 out of 100. And it's per annum. How many years will it take him to earn back the interest? Now, the interest from our formula is going to be amount minus the principal. The amount that we had was 10,648 minus the principal, which we just calculated, 8,000, and that gives us a $2,648. Okay, now we want to find how long it will take for him to earn back that interest, given that his business earns at 15% per annum. That's the rate. So if I substitute all those values in my formula, I have that 2,648 equals to the principal times the rate. It's 15 over 100 times the time which we are required to calculate. So I could cancel out these zeros, meaning that my time is going to be 2,648 divided by 80 times 15. And this gives me a number, if I round off to 2 decimal places, that is 2.21. Now these are years. So the basic principle in problem solving is read the question clearly, identify what you have been given, get your formula, substitute in the formula, and calculate your desired value.